We are 422 miles away from the Jackrabbit Trading Post, somewhere in New Mexico, specifically Tucumcari. And if that hasn't given you enough information, this will give it away. The Blue Swallow Motel with the New Mexico sunrise coming up in the background. It's time to get out on the road. Let's see what we find today. I love this little stretch of Route 66 here just west of Tucumcari. Big reason being it really is representative of a lot of what Route 66 looks like nowadays. You know, a frontage road running alongside the interstate. But I really love the juxtaposition of how the interstate, basically runs through the landscape, where Route 66 rises and falls and curves with the natural land features. Really cool. Cuervo, New Mexico. Coming up here, this is one of my favorite stretches of town here. We've got this awesome stone church. And then up here, this is fantastic. Old railway car converted into a shelter. That could be straight out of the Grapes of Wrath. They talk about in John Steinbeck's book, I know at some point they take shelter in a railway car that was set up for the Okies. Oh, that could be one of them, just like that right there. That is amazing. Kind of quick stop up here, just this old house. Still in relatively good shape considering how long it's probably been abandoned. But look at the stonework in the front of that place. That is just fantastic. Alright, so this is a pre-1950s alignment of Route 66 that runs diagonally southwest out of Cuervo, New Mexico. We're going to see how far we can take it. The guidebook that we're following does not recommend this for the casual vacationer. Of course, we've never been known as casual, and we did bring a four-wheel drive truck specifically for being able to explore some of these different alignments. We'll see what it looks like. If it gets too bad, we can always turn around, just like climbing a mountain where you never want to climb up somewhere you don't know how to get back down. When you're driving these old alignments and things, you never want to go through something you don't know that you're going to be able to get back out of. So we'll play it cautious, we'll play it safe, and we'll see. I mean, so far it seems all right. It's a little rough, but it's not like we need four-wheel drive or anything. There's still actually, I think, a fair bit of pavement intact underneath here, so... Alright, so this road was actually signed as a dead end at the entrance to it, and you can see why. We've now kind of come off the section that was somewhat maintained, and we're now really just on basically two dirt tracks here through the desert. Again, it's pretty dry right now, so I think we're gonna be okay. We'll just keep playing it by ear and see how it goes. All right, continuing on our very early alignment of Route 66 southwest of Cuervo, New Mexico. We're starting to see our first few drops of rain on the windshield. Not worried about it at this point. There's still actually a lot of gravel on this road. The road has not been that bad, actually. We've been successfully able to maintain anywhere from 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. There's been I would say only one spot that required a little bit of maneuvering to get around a couple of deeper little washouts in the road that could have, you know, resulted in being high centered if things had gone wrong. But really, it's not, so far not been too bad. We have probably about 1.5 miles, 2 miles to go before we get back onto something resembling proper pavement. So, all right, it looks like we're gonna make it. We're coming through. We just got to get through this gate here. A few more little bumps. And now we're joining up with a properly paved alignment. Again, another older alignment of Route 66. This one's now going to head straight west into Santa Rosa. So now that we're through it and we know it was fine, that was really fun, actually. I would, I would have to say that was a lot of fun. I mean, don't do it if you don't have a vehicle that's equipped, you know, to handle rough terrain, but overall, pretty good. Going to check out some people scuba diving in the desert. This is the Blue Hole. The Blue Hole here in Santa Rosa, New Mexico is quite an anomaly out here in the desert in that it's a real, honest-to-goodness watering hole. It's 80 feet wide at the top, expands out to a diameter of 130 feet at the bottom, and has a constant flow of 3,000 US gallons per minute, so it's refreshing itself on a regular basis, yet maintains a constant temperature of 17 degrees Celsius or 62 degrees Fahrenheit. It has been a popular Route 66 stop for a long time. As you know, when people were traveling back in the day through the desert, there wasn't a lot of places for water, and this was one of those. Today it's more used for swimming, and it's a very popular scuba diving destination because the water is so clear. Alright, so that's it for the Blue Hole. It's an interesting sight out here in the New Mexico desert. That's it from Santa Rosa for now. Back in the truck and on the road. Little bit of a detour. We decided to come to Las Vegas. Not the one you're thinking of in Nevada, but Las Vegas, New Mexico. Wow, check out that amazing fire hall. Isn't that fantastic?
So in the movie Easy Rider, you may remember the scene when the Jack Nicholson character decides to join up with the other two on the road. This is where they shot that scene.
I wonder if it truly is fun to stay at the YMCA. The Surf Theater. That's a classic. Taking a moment to admire that service station across the street. You can see on the left that looks very much like an original Phillips 66 station that's had a couple of additions put onto it to the right. So checking out the old Hotel Casaneda. Beautiful old railroad hotel. Looks like it's undergoing a bunch of work. It's all fenced off right now. Good to see that it'll likely be around for a while longer yet. And the old Las Vegas, New Mexico train station. This is quite the town. So, you know, we took the slight detour off Route 66 to come check this place out. Because for a town that has a population of about 13,000 people, it has 900 buildings that are on the National Register of Historic Places. And just walking around here, it's easy to see why. It's a very, very historic looking town straight out of the Old West. Welcome to San Jose, New Mexico, where we are on site of a 1921 truss bridge over the Pecos River. Let's go take a look. So this alignment of Route 66 is actually on the other side of the interstate from where the frontage road runs now that forms the actual part of Route 66 that we're traveling. You can see this bridge here has definitely seen better days. Large sections of railing missing over on this side. Somebody obviously ran into that one and bent it up pretty good here, but yeah, this is a really cool little spot. Hasn't seen traffic in a lot of years, but it's very scenic, very quiet. And you can tell from the size of this tree here that's growing up right in the middle of the old roadbed. That represents just how long it's been since that bridge has seen traffic. I'm recording from inside the vehicle here just to try and keep the camera out of the wind so that you can actually hear what we're trying to say. Apparently this church here dates from 1826. Will soon be coming up. It's a little short of 200 years old, but it still stands here in San Jose, New Mexico. So while we're continuing to work our way towards our destination of Santa Fe, we could not resist the chance to stop here at the Pecos National Historic Park. We're looking at the adobe remains of the Pecos Pueblo from 1717.
Yeah, this.
So this stone wall here actually marked the city limits of the Pueblo.
Reconstructed. I feel like you're back at the blue whale. Nice and cool in here.
Yeah, that's for sure. Huh. So this was a ceremonial room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kiva.
Kiva. So this here is an example of a kiva, just like the one that we went down that was a recreation. This is one of the original ones that has deteriorated, but you can still see very much the round shape, and the walls and the entrance would have been through the roof. The remnants of a mission built in the 1700s that we're coming up on now. So it may not look like a whole lot now, but when you compare it to the graphics down here that show what it would have looked like, you can see that there are two churches here approximately 100 years apart, or I should say parts of two churches here approximately 100 years apart. The low stone walls in the front are from 1625, and then these walls are what remain from the 1717 church or mission. So it's impressive anything at all remains here from something that old that's been sitting in the desert. We're just about done our walk around the Pecos Pueblo National Historic Park, which is good. It looks like there's a storm moving in through the pass. Alright, well that's that. So it's not your typical Route 66 attraction, but it's on the route, so that counts, or at least it's on the pre-1937 alignment of the route. Worth a visit, absolutely free to check out. You won't regret stopping in if you've got the time to walk the trails and check out the details. So that's it for now. Time to get back on the road. All right, we are on the Glorieta Highway, part of old Route 66 pre-1937, and we're at the Pigeon Ranch ruins, which is an old stagecoach stop, and this old well over here. So at one time, this was quite the oasis for Route 66 travelers, as they would be able to pull over here and refill their water containers, pails, whatever they had. That's about all I really know about it, to be honest with you, but it is quite an impressive site. It's chained off now, and it's a long way down to the bottom. Looks pretty nasty down there now. The water's pretty stagnant, but in the old days, traveling across the territory, that would have been a welcome sight for you. So we may have our facts wrong, but this, we believe, is the Pigeon Ranch's stagecoach stop. As you can hear, we're just steps away from the highway. I'm going to see if you can peek in the window there. It's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, I'm really not going to be able to show you much inside, unfortunately. Building is marked no trespassing, but I think that means don't go inside. We should be okay standing here. Hey, it's a neat reflection of us. Hello. So you're kind of able to come along and look in the window, as long as you don't mind standing literally just inches away from the cars racing down the highway here. All right. Pigeon Ranch, an interesting stop here on our way into Santa Fe along the pre-1937 alignment of Route 66. Welcome to Santa Fe, New Mexico, and as you can see, the skies opened up on us and it's pouring rain here today. We're coming up to our motel, which is the El Rey Court. Now, originally opened in 1936, just a year later, Route 66 would be routed to the south and bypass Santa Fe. So this hotel was only on Route 66 for 1 year, really. But it's a classic. It's been renovated and added on to and things a number of times over the years, but it retains a lot of the charm. I think we're really going to enjoy staying here tonight. So thank you so much for tuning in and following along with us here on day 9 of our Route 66 adventure, and we will see you tomorrow for day 10, I hope.